What's up guys, Cardfight here, and today I'm here with the Perdition Imperial Dragonic Overlord the Great deck profile. So, with the new movie booster out, we have a new Kagero deck to play with, and Dragonic Overlord, the buff is very, very strong. He takes your opponent to the gym, as Chan will probably say. So yeah, he's a pretty good card. So let's start off with the deck profile. So first up, we run the starting Vanguard, which is something Draco Kid. He's the grade 3 searcher, and we run it because I like the grade 3s in this deck. Mainly because you can search for more copies of Dragonic when you use it, and you have more Vanguards to play with. In case your mate gets retired by Blaster Joker, you can reride to Legion again. So for the Vanguard, we run 4 Imperial Dragonic Overlord the Great. Skill is cost 1, discard 2 cards from your hand, and at the end of the battle, that this card attack the rear guard. If this card's in Legion, you may pay the cost. And if you do, pay standard Vanguard, and this unit cannot use this ability again for the rest of the turn. So yeah, this card is pretty good for obvious reasons. You get 2 drive checks for the cost of cost 1. Basically, what you're going to do is attack a rear guard. If you get any crits or anything, you're probably going to stack it on this if you know your opponent doesn't have a rear guard. And once you hit the rear guard, you can use the second ability, which is choose one of your rear guards and with the same name as a unit in your Vanguard circle and retire it. When this unit attack hits, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So basically, if you have another copy of this card on the field, and you're in Legion, you attack a rear guard, and you hit, you can retire this and kill another rear guard, and then you may use this card's ability and then restand. So yeah. Right, so for next card we run is 4 Dragonics. Obvious option when I'm running this card. Dragonic is a very powerful card. For those who don't know his skill, it's a Persona Blast with it's a Legion. So his Persona Blast includes his Legion mate, and then you can deal 1 damage to your opponent and kill 2 of your opponent's rear guards. So it's pretty good. Mainly you're gonna try to use this card to burn your opponent to higher damage first, and then you can push for game with the Great, or either way, if you're both of these cards are pretty good. It doesn't really matter actually which card you ride first, since if you ride the Great first and you attack, you're gonna devastate his field quite a bit, and then if you ride Dragonic afterwards, you're gonna retire even more rear guards, and you'll deal damage to him if he's not at 5 already. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty strong combo of Vanguards. I believe the move booster also had a new Legion for Perdition Dragons, but I'm not going to run that because it's not that great. So yeah, it's nice for a budget deck, but it's not really what I want to use. Next, we run 2 of the Legion mate for that new Legion though. Not the Great, the other card, the rare card that came out in the set. When a unit in the same column is retired as this unit, this card gets plus 5k. Or if your Vanguard's in Legion, it gets plus 5k. So it's pretty good. It's a bit of an upgrade from the card that came out in the Kai Toshiki book. Since that card needs to be called in order get extra power, while this one is whenever it's retired, it gets plus 5k. So if you retire 2 units in the same column as this card, he gets plus 10k. So it's pretty good. It'll be a 19k attacker by himself. The reason why I'm not running more is because there's other stuff I want to run. So yeah, this guy's good for pushing for game though, so keep that in mind. Next, I run to Menace Laser. Kind of last one, retire something in the same column as this unit. I run this because I like to retire stuff, and there's another card in this deck that combos quite well with it, that you may pretty much get free retires. So I run 2. If you want, you can take these 2 out and replace it with these, or you can take one of these out to play one more of the Great Legion Mate, which I only play 3 of. And some people might think it's weird, but I only play 3 because I don't actually think his skill is too great, but it's definitely not bad. You can play 4, but I rather have some other things to play with. So I run 3. His skill is when this card is placed on a regard circle, it gets a new skill. Counterblast 1. When something in this column is retired, you may pay the cost to retire another unit in this column. So basically, if you're gonna have the Great Attacker Regard and it's in the same column as this unit, you can counterblast 1 to kill off an extra unit. So you can pretty much wipe out their whole column, which is nice, but it doesn't always happen. Like when you use the Great, you use the Great, but I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this card. It's definitely not a bad card though. So yeah, it's personal preference, I guess, for this card. I'd rather have a card that can, you know, buff up my attack power. Because if you're pushing for game, retiring a extra unit doesn't really matter, but that extra 5k that you get from this unit will probably matter. So yeah, that's my thoughts. So next I run 4 of the Perdition Dragon 12k attacker, which is the Legion Mate for Dragonic. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. I actually rarely use him as a 12k attacker though. He's mostly used as fodder for Dragonic's Persona Blast. And for grade 1s, we run 4 Gojo. Gojo is a pretty good card. Tap to discard card, draw a card. Since I don't run critical walls in this deck, having Gojos are quite nice. Enough said. And now I run this card that came out in the previous set, and I forgot what his name is, but it's Perdition Dragon, and his skill is during your main phase, when a unit in the same column as this card is put into drop zone, you may pay the cost, which is Soul Blast 1, and if your Vanguard is a Perdition Dragon, or is a Perdition unit, you may pay the cost, and then you can unflip a damage. So basically, if you combo it with Menace Laser, you can play this card, Counterblast 1, kill something, Soul Blast 1 to unflip. So you get a free retire, which is quite amazing actually. So that's why I run it. So yeah, it's also, you can also combo it with Dragonic, since if you retire something from this with Dragonic's effect, and this card is in the same column as one of the units that are retired, you can Soul Blast 1 to unflip, and then you pretty much pay 1 counterblast and a Persona Blast for Dragonic's effect. So next, run 2 Calamity Tower Wyverns. Soul Blast 2 to draw a card. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to use this card also to pile up your drop zone early. So there's a lot of things to speed up the deck. So this deck it's pretty strong. I probably will, if I'm gonna play a tournament, I'm probably gonna play with this deck. And for Perguards, run for Perguards, because I don't want to run Sentinels. Or I mean, not Sentinels. I don't want to run Quintet Walls. Silly me. For trigger lineup, run 7 crit, 5 draws, and 4 heals. The reason I'm running the same lineup as my Dauntless Drive, Dauntless Drive Dragonic deck is because this deck does also require discarding for this guy's effect. So I want to have some extra cards in my hand to ditch and still have enough to guard with next turn. You know, also if you run draws, it also gives you extra options to discard, because you might draw something that is not that good, and yeah, pretty much. Also, if you get a draw trigger, you're pretty much discarding 1 card for Degrade's effect, if you think of it that way. You can think of it that way, I guess, but it's... Anyway. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this deck. It's a pretty solid deck. It's pretty powerful, pretty consistent. Lots of field control, which is something I like. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this deck profile. So yeah, this is Karotaku, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.